Today I'm dehydrating some tomatoes into tomato figs. Now this is an idea that I got from a cookbook that was written in 1845. They claim that they end up tasting just like fresh figs and that they could be used in any recipe that calls for dried figs or dates. And in my opinion, they ended up tasting like dates. They are really good. I'll put the directions exactly as they were written in that cookbook down in the description box. They say that pear-shaped or single tomatoes work best for this, so I'm using 4 pounds of paste tomatoes. You need to start by peeling the tomatoes by putting them into boiling water briefly and then into cold water, and then the skins will easily peel off. Once all the tomatoes were peeled, I put them into a pot with 3 cups of sugar and simmered them slowly until the tomatoes became translucent. Now, in spite of what people think, they used a lot of sugar back in those days, and in cookbooks that were written later, they start to realize that they're using way too much sugar and call for cutting back on it. So you probably could get by with less sugar in this recipe, but I wanted to do it the way they said to. So I put the tomatoes on the dehydrator tray and I flattened them with the bottom of a canning jar. I dehydrated them at 135 degrees for 18 hours, and a couple of times during the process I took a spoon and dipped it in the syrup and rubbed it across the tomatoes, and I flipped them over a couple of times. I ended up straining the tomato seeds out of the syrup and reduced it down until it thickened, and I think this syrup would be real good on corn cakes. This syrup doesn't really taste like tomatoes. It tastes more like a fig syrup. It's real good. And I put it in this bottle, but then I worried that maybe I cooked it too long, so I ended up putting it in a jar. And it did thicken up even more once it cooled. After 18 hours, the tomatoes on the top rack looked like they were done, and I let the others run for about another hour. They're supposed to be leathery. They're not supposed to be brittle. Then I dusted the tomatoes with powdered sugar, and the directions say to pack them away in boxes with layers of powdered sugar in between, and that they would keep from year to year and retain their flavor. And they say that they have the flavor of fresh figs, but like I said, they taste more like dates to me. They don't taste like tomatoes. So they're very good. Be sure to give it a try. I'm definitely going to make some more. So that's how you can dehydrate tomatoes into tomato figs. Hope it helps.